As soon as we started taking things into our own hands and looking not so much at what's wrong with me, what pill can I take, instead looking more at like, what's the cause and how can I take care of my body? How can I treat it well? Yeah.
You feel love for nature. You feel love for your spouse, your neighbors, your friends. Most importantly, you feel love for yourself.
Hey guys, Erin and Dusty here, and welcome back to another episode of Kitchen Confidential here on the EatMoveRest YouTube channel. If you haven't already tuned into our other Kitchen Confidential episodes, you can check those out up here or down below in the description. We're not technically in our kitchen. It doesn't look like we are, but it's a couple feet that way, we promise. So anyways, today we thought it would be helpful to share with you guys our plant-based story and how we got to where we're at today.
Our plant-based journey started about 5 years ago. Here, we live in Lincoln, Nebraska, so kind of the middle of nowhere. Lincoln's not a small town, it's definitely a city, but we have one plant-based doctor in our whole area, basically kind of in the state that we know of, and her name is Dr. Amanda McKinney. She actually brought Dr. Esselstyn to our area, actually an even smaller town outside of Lincoln, and we got to see him speak, just kind of a freak coincidence. It worked out. We didn't know who he was, but we went and listened to him talk, and it really changed our perspectives. So we decided to go meatless for 40 days for Lent. This was, like I said, I think it was, 4 or 5?
About 5 years ago.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years ago, and that's kind of how we started. We ended up going back to eating meat and dairy and all those things afterward. But then we realized after being without it for 40 days that we actually really felt pretty good.
Yeah, and more so than just like we felt better or different, just we're still alive, we're still here, we don't need meat to survive.
That was my big thing, being a guy and lifting weights and working out, all these things, you get a lot of pushback, especially from my buddies. They were like, man, you gotta eat meat, you're already a thin guy, you're gonna blow away. But the truth was, after 40 days, that's a long enough time to really see change, feel change, and to survive, like you said. So we knew it was possible. Around the same time that we kind of went back on the meat and just went back to our lives as normal, we both had kind of started feeling different. We were 25 at the time, and that was young, but I didn't feel like I was at 18 or 20 even, and I actually started having a lot of digestive issues. So a lot of acid reflux, just not really feeling right, heartburn, all of that, being super uncomfortable basically. And I kind of always had felt that way. Since high school, I would get heartburn now and then, but it had progressed to the point where I was actually on one medication for about a year or so. It got so bad that then I was actually on a second medication, and it just didn't seem right. I was 25 years old and on these medications for heartburn, and doctors just told me that it was the things that I was eating, or unfortunately, it was just how I was made. Well, that wasn't a good enough answer for me, so we looked deeper into our diets and we thought, maybe we can change this.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, before we got introduced to the plant-based lifestyle, kind of what was going on for me was I was a hardcore hypochondriac, and it wasn't fun for Dusty either. It was before we were married even, so I'm amazed he stuck around, honestly. It was a really rocky, bumpy road. I'd wake up in the middle of the night with panic attacks, and I know I've kind of addressed that whole issue in How to Beat Anxiety, the video. But just, it was really crippling and debilitating. It was difficult to travel, especially. I was just afraid to leave my bubble. I lived in fear. And like I said, I was a hypochondriac, and coming from a family of doctors, that was okay because I had all of them at my disposal, I went through CT scans and MRIs and all kinds of things for scary symptoms I was getting, and of course, when you're a hypochondriac, Google is your best and worst friend. So I'd have a symptom, search it, and I started getting really, terrified with what I was finding. It was, several autoimmune diseases like multiple sclerosis and just other inflammatory disorders that really, it was like almost felt like a death sentence.
Yeah.
So
don't Google search.
Yeah, don't Google search your symptoms. Google search for what the underlying cause is and how you can treat them naturally.
Yeah.
And that's what I started doing. And
Right.
that's when, kind of around the same time, Esselstyn came into our lives, and then we found Forks Over Knives, and it just kind of progressed from there. It's like as soon as we started taking things into our own hands and looking not so much at what's wrong with me, what pill can I take, instead looking more at like what's the cause
Right.
and how can I take care of my body, how can I treat it well, because at the time, going out, partying, eating bad foods, just not sleeping, I don't know why I was expecting to feel good.
Right, yeah.
So in college, things got a little out of hand, to say the least.
Yeah.
They do for a lot of college kids. You hear about the freshman 15 and staying out late, and weekends start on Thursdays and they're not done till
Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah, basically Wednesday. You have one day where you might feel normal again.
Right.
That's how it was for Dusty and I anyways.
Yeah.
But I had started to gain a significant amount of weight to the point where my clothing didn't fit anymore, and I had completely lost sight of what exercise meant and what sleep meant and what diet meant. And my friend and I at the time were kind of in that same boat, and it just dawned on us one day, like, hey, let's go check out the rec. We go down to the rec in our workout clothes, and I get on the scale, and the numbers did not lie. All of a sudden it was, we don't have to talk about numbers, but all of a sudden it dawned on me, I need to take control of my health. I had been an athlete in high school, always active, and it was time to kind of regain that. So I can tell you guys first-handedly that working out is going to be like the quickest and easiest way to look better.
Yeah, look good.
But you're not necessarily going to look better on the inside.
Right. Or be healthy. You can
Right.
look good without actually being healthy.
Yeah, you may have heard the term skinny fat, where you look thin, you look lean, which is what happened for me. It worked pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I bounced back to my normal weight and size. But as I started to get more interested in health and wellness, going into my dad's office, and getting my blood work done, it came back that my cholesterol was high, and there was a lot of other markers that were just up or down, and I was like, I'm thin, I'm working out, why
Yeah.
aren't things computing?
Yeah.
And the numbers don't lie, like
Yeah.
I said. And my dad's nurses told me, and my mom and dad themselves told me, well, it runs in the family, and you might just have to be on medication. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
Heart disease, you don't want to run into heart disease, it runs in the family, and so the best thing you can do is just get on that medication and get it under control.
Yeah.
Nope, like we said, not good enough. The medication's not good enough. It's simply, it felt like it was just a way to mask the symptoms and continue living the way we were living.
Right.
So
Not fighting the underlying cause.
yeah, basically it just makes you feel good about your bad habits.
Right. It makes you feel normal, feel good, look good. Everything appears to be okay, but on the inside, it's not. So we made a change. We took it in our own hands, and we thought, we're gonna fight this, and get over our anxieties, get over the heartburn, the high cholesterol, everything. And we did. And this is how we got there. It was a plant-based diet. So yeah, getting back to the plate, like you said, our journey started with the 40 days of no meat. We went back for, I don't know, probably at least a few months to eating meat and everything else before we thought maybe we could actually go back and just make that a permanent thing. Mm-hmm. And Erin was pretty much vegetarian kind of after we did the whole meatless thing. She didn't go back quite as hard as I did, and it was a little bit harder for me, so I think I started with the red meat, might have done the grass-fed beef for a few weeks, and then just decided I'm going to try to cut this out altogether. And
Right.
I felt a little bit better. I started to feel a little bit better. And then we cut out the chicken and then lunch meat and the turkey.
Oh, that was a big thing for the longest time. We cut out our red meat and our chicken, but we were still going to our favorite sandwich shop and getting our 6 or 12-inch subs.
Yeah.
And, you know, with the processed meat, and come
Yeah.
to find out later on that that's the worst for you of any of it. It's
Yeah.
so processed. And not to mention, you know, we started to look at it, and we're not eating as many veggies as we think we are.
No.
Mainly, it's just a giant loaf of bread.
Yeah, it's a whole loaf of bread. It's funny when we would go to A or B or C sandwich shop, take your pick, it doesn't really matter. Take everything off of it and just look at how big that loaf of bread is.
Yeah.
We're like, no way that that's going in there. But
And if you're not left with a salad, like a giant salad bowl's worth of veggies on
Yeah.
that sub, it's not even worth it.
no. And so yeah, the cold cuts that we were convinced were so healthy were actually killing us. In fact, we just read that lunch meat is actually a carcinogen now.
Yeah,
So I don't know. Put it next to cigarettes, I guess.
I guess so. We were smoking a lot back in the day then. I know that.
Yeah, so we cut that out. The cheese, I think, that was the real game changer in my health and in what helped my gut to heal and what helped me to actually come off those medications.
Yeah.
Was the dairy.
For you,
sure.
his gut health, and for
Yeah.
me, it was the acne. I had a lot of cystic acne, and it was
Yeah.
all kind of in this area, and it literally within a couple months,
Yeah.
nothing, gone.
Dairy. Cut the dairy first. If we were gonna do it, that's what we would do first, and that's what we recommend to our coaching clients and other people that we meet with, is that if you can start with dairy, it's the hardest, but it's the worst for you.
Right.
So
I had done a lot of research on the cystic acne. If you're struggling with it, especially
Yeah.
down in this area, I had always been told, and from what I had Google searched too, that it's hormonal.
yeah,
And what you'll find is that especially dairy is ripe with so many hormones.
yeah,
Hormones that our bodies don't need
Right.
in mass quantities, because a cow's milk is meant to feed a baby calf and
Yeah.
help it to grow to 4,000 pounds or whatever crazy number a calf weighs. And when we pump
Not
that
quite.
into our own bodies, just it doesn't compute.
you're pumping yourself full of hormones, cow hormones.
Not to mention antibiotics and antidepressants that
Right.
the cow is eating, because the cow's miserable. Let's face it.
The cow is not happy. Anyway, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. We can go down that later. But the dairy definitely was a game changer for us. I think from there, all we really had left was the eggs. I think eggs
yeah.
were the last one for us. And you watch a few documentaries and you see where the eggs come from, and you know, you think about things like how it's an embryo, and it helps to really think, that's kind of gross. So we finally got off the eggs.
Oh,
and-
not to mention, you know, back to the cholesterol thing.
Oh yeah.
Come on. I was basically taking a cholesterol vitamin every day.
There's more cholesterol in one egg yolk than there is in a McDonald's Big Mac. One.
That's gross. I don't like when he says that.
Yeah, and it's true. Unfortunately, it's true. I loved eggs. It was really, really hard, but that was the last straw for us, and we cut out eggs. And
I mean, a lot of people ask, where do you get your healthy fats? Nuts, seeds,
Yeah.
avocados.
Yeah.
So you guys may be looking at us and thinking, oh, well, they're young, they're healthy, they're active, you know, nothing's going to impact them at this age, you know,
Right.
they haven't even hit 50 yet. But all we can do is share where we currently are and
Yeah.
what we're currently going through.
Yeah.
You know, all anybody really has at the end of the day is their story.
Right.
And all we can do is tell you what rings true to us and what keeps us motivated, what keeps us happy every day. And to be honest, we have several friends that are our age, if not younger, who have battled cancer.
Yep.
Some that haven't come out on the other side,
Right.
battled addictions, weight gain,
Yeah.
and stress and depression, not to mention. If it's as simple as that, as being, you know, just anxious and stressed,
Yeah.
this has helped us to
Right.
conquer that. If all else fails, it can make you a happier person.
Yeah.
To have a great relationship with food and lifestyle and eat, move, rest in general.
Right. So yeah, I feel the same way, and it's kind of like, oh well, you're only 30, which by the way, we are both 30 this year, and I can tell you that that's not 20. It's not 40, 50, or 60. but it also isn't 20. And the funny thing is I felt great when I was 20, and I can actually say now, I tell people all the time, that my 30-year-old self could officially kick my 20-year-old's butt.
Totally.
I could outrun, outwork, outsleep, outeat, everything. I feel so much better. I don't have heartburn. I don't have anxiety. All of these things have literally kind of fall to the wayside, and I'm able to control the things like my mood, my anxiety, things that before I didn't know where they were coming from or why or how to fix them. We now have a better grip. And I think it's a testament to our lifestyles. And so that's why we're doing what we're doing. That's why we want to share it. And like Aaron said, even though we are young and healthy and have good genetics or whatever, the truth of the matter is we have friends with cancer. We have friends with high cholesterol, friends that are our age, 29, 30 years old, that are going on these medications for life. And they're saying, this isn't fair. We don't want this at this age. You know, that's hoping that we all live to be 80, 85, or 90 or longer. That could be a long time to be on a medication, to be unhappy, to be nervous. And we want to help flip the script now while we're young.
Yeah, totally. And, you know, a lot of people might say, well, why plant-based? Why that diet? Why vegan?
Yeah.
You could be this or that. Any diet that you stick to works.
Yeah.
And we've done the research. We've heard from the physicians, the researchers.
Yeah.
The numbers don't lie. I think that's the third time I've said that.
Yeah.
But a plant-based or vegan diet free of animal products has been proven to be the best for your heart, the best for the environment, and the best for the animals. Who doesn't love cute, cuddly animals? Growing up, I was like so in love with animals. Like I felt like I had more of a connection with cute little critters than I did with people a lot of the times. It sounds kind of hippie or whatever, but you really do start to gain more of that sense of compassion and awareness and just, you know,
love.
Yeah.
You feel love for nature. You feel love for your spouse, your neighbors, your friends. Most importantly, you feel love for yourself. I look in the mirror and I like the person I see most of the time. We all have days, right? But you feel love when you are treating your body right, when you're treating the environment right, when you're eating low on the food chain, and all of these things just seem to make sense. A vegan diet seems to us, to the researchers, to the physicians, to the other healthy people in the world, it seems to be the thing to do for optimum health and wellness.
Yeah, and if you're not sold by what we're saying, Dr. Oz himself said that 2017, the #1 trend is veganism.
Right.
So take it for what it's worth, but Dr. Oz said it, come on.
If the Oz says it, it's like, what else matters?
Set in stone, right? Yeah, so like Dusty said, this definitely didn't happen overnight for us. There's a lot of people that find that the easiest way is to just cut everything cold turkey, whether it's quitting drinking or quitting smoking or changing the way you eat for the better. But what worked best for us to make this a sustainable shift and make it not so much a diet but a lifestyle was to take baby steps. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie What About Bob? It's one of our favorites, but his therapist advises him to read his book, Baby Steps, and it's all about small, incremental changes in the right direction, not biting off more than you can chew, literally. So the plant-based lifestyle has helped us in more ways than just the kale. Moving beyond the plate, it's helped us to be more conscious consumers and pay closer attention to the things we buy, like the shoes on our feet.
Right.
And so it's totally a lifestyle. This is unlike any other way of being. It's not a diet, I promise you.
It's not a diet. And I don't like when people say, you know, it's a diet, or what kind of diet are you on, or they imply that you're trying to lose weight. You know, I had someone tell me the other day that, oh, you definitely don't need to lose weight, or something like to that extent. And I was like, it's never been my goal to lose weight. I'm just doing what I do to feel right, and I have to enjoy the food.
Yeah.
And it's just a lifestyle more than it is a diet. So like Aaron said, you know, you take everything into account, from maybe using towels instead of paper towels. And, you know, it really makes you think twice about not just food, but the way you live your life. And, you know, on the same token, we're not perfect.
Yeah.
You know, we have non-vegan, I have leather belts in my closet and things that I've had for years. And it's a journey. But you begin to think more about it, you recognize more, and it's like from here on out, I can make a more educated decision based on the life I want to lead and the life I think that we all should lead.
Totally. And plant-based or not, vegan or not,
Yeah.
life itself isn't about perfectionism.
No.
It's not about, okay, as soon as I get here, whether it's in my job or my relationship or whatever it is, it's not about getting to the top. It's about the journey.
Yeah.
And that's why we say just baby steps. What can
Baby
you do
steps.
today? When you wake up first thing in the morning, you look at yourself in the mirror, ask yourself, what's one thing I can do to be more conscious about my health, about the environment, about the animals, and just to really start to realize everything really comes full circle when you're conscious.
Yeah. Totally.
I want to leave you guys with a final thought or a question as we start to wrap things up. Does your dog take any medication? Does he take pills by the handful?
No.
No. And that's because your dog eats what he's supposed to eat.
Right.
You feed your pet what they're supposed to eat.
Yeah.
Would you feed your dog chocolate?
No. It makes him sick.
Would you feed a horse a donut?
No.
So why would you feed your kids that?
Yeah.
Or even more importantly, why would you feed yourself that?
Right.
And that's just something that we heard last weekend that Dr. McKinney shared with the group, and it really resonated with us. And it's kind of an aha moment.
Yeah,
So.
It's kind of along the same lines. I heard an interview from an Olympic athlete a while back, and they said, before I take a bite of whatever I have in front of me, I look at it and I think, is this going to help me or hinder me? And if the answer isn't help me, I don't eat it. And that really helped me to think too, whether it's a potato chip or a carrot. It's like one's good, one's bad. And it really helps you think twice about the decisions you make around the food. That helped us to make our transition too.
Yeah, you might think, well, the other difference is that one tastes good and one doesn't.
Right.
Or one tastes a heck of a lot better.
Yeah.
But I promise you, your taste will start to change, and so will your attitudes towards different types of food.
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah.
So yeah, if you guys have liked this rant, this video, you know the drill. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below. Let's get some conversation going. Ask us questions. Let us know what you guys want to see next.
And turn on that notification bell up in the corner so you'll get notified when we release new videos.
Yeah. What else? Social media?
Social media.
Yeah.
We're at Aaron Stanzik and DB Stanzik on Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, and follow our stories, follow our photos.
Yeah.
We're there to help you guys to eat, move, and rest better.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye. Woo. Yeah, hi. I'm just curious, do you guys have anything vegan on the menu?
We don't.
Okay. All right, that's it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
For most people and for our coaching clients and friends, whoops.
Like, I'm eating pizza.
Again? Come on, bud. Oh, hi, baby. How could you eat an animal with a face like this? And I will